You're every time, just like you said. We on.
Please don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I know. We're gonna kick it off. You know what I'm saying? Hey, everybody out there, welcome back. This is the fantasy with Sean, John, and myself. Man, John couldn't be here today. P,
you got anything to say on that? John, he ain't been here these past 2 weeks because his wife gave birth to a beautiful baby boy.
Hey, congrats, bro.
Congrats, John, man. Happy for you, brother.
These last 2 weeks.
Man, handling business, grown man business.
Grown man business.
So
we do this
congrats
for fun.
to John again, man.
Yeah, congrats, bro.
You and your wife, congratulations. Big ups. Hope you're ready.
Yeah, man.
No sleep.
Big up. Waking up middle of the night, handling your business.
Sleep. All right, so we getting into it?
Yeah, let's get into it. All the time. I mean, spotlight today.
I got Sean's up first.
We're gonna get right.
And that's what separates us.
We're back.
We're back.
Dealing with Facebook Live, you know.
You know how it go.
We're gonna go into my matchup. Like I said, I'm 8-2, number one in the league. We're gonna start with Colin Murray and Russell Wilson. I thought it was gonna be a better matchup there, but I don't know. The Rams defense, they contained Russell Wilson. They look good. Jalen Ramsey held DK Metcalf to what? 2 catches for 28 yards.
You needed all of it, man.
He looked. Jalen Ramsey, he looked like the number one corner in the league. Yes, on Sunday. So, Kyler Murray outshined Russell Wilson. 29 points for Kyler Murray. Great game. He's been. I'm not gonna say my savior for this year, but he's been.
He's been a number one player in his position. Yeah, he's been a number one quarterback.
We'll move to Dalvin Cook. Before this week, the last 2 weeks, he had over 400 total yards and 6 touchdowns, but he didn't find the end zone this game. It was tough out there for him. The Bears defense came up. They showed up to play. That's what they do. They're good against the run. Bears defense, as you know, history, the Bears defense have always been good. Always been good. They just have a history of good defenses.
Stout. But even against that defense, I think that Dalvin Cook did his thing.
He did all right. 30 carries for 96 yards. He had over 100 total yards.
Yeah,
from scrimmage, but they contained them better than Green Bay and Detroit did.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say that
much better. It wasn't happening.
Yeah, it wasn't happening. We're gonna move to Miles Sanders. He had a solid week. He got
this first game back, right?
The 2 running backs scored. Corey Clemens scored, and Boston Scott.
But you gotta look at
that. But the starting running back didn't score.
More of a fluke.
More of a fluke. That's more of a fluke
than anything. Hold on to Miles Sanders.
12.5. He had 85 rushing yards. He had over 100 total yards. So I'll take it. Adam Thielen. Yeah, the 2 touchdowns look good, but 4 for 43. I need better production out of him.
No, we said last week, as a whole, the Bears defense will come to play. I feel like this is going to be more of an
but Jefferson had 8 for 135.
Yeah, because they're keen on the best guy.
That's true.
You got Fuller out there. He's
Fuller.
All pros in front of Thielen.
Still need more yards from Thielen, but I'll take the 2 touchdowns. Cooper Kupp. I'm coming in this week like Cooper Kupp might be my number 1 scoring guy.
Me neither, John.
He might be my number 1 scoring guy, but this guy puts up 7.5. I don't know what Jared Goff is doing out there, but he's not looking like the guy he did 2 years ago. When they made
man. I don't know what's going on.
He's not looking like that guy. Man. I need him to step it up.
You'll see it in my matchup too. I'm not too sure about.
I don't think it's Cooper Kupp. I think it's more so Jared Goff. he's not looking like he's a number 2 pick.
Yeah.
Like this year. Like 2 years ago, he looked like an all-pro. Like,
Yeah,
he had promise.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, the
Niggas
Rams
was
are gonna
loving
be good
Goff.
for years to come.
Yeah,
Did
Goff
they
and
make the
Gurley.
playoffs last year? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
the
I
Rams
don't
made
think
the
they. I don't
playoffs
think they
last
did. I
year,
don't think they did.
Jared Goff, step it up. Mark Andrews. I mean, he had 7 receptions. That's most for the season. 61 yards. That's most for the season. He didn't score a touchdown, but what's the other tight end? Boyle.
Nick
He went
Boyle.
out this week, so Mark Andrews should see more snaps
Man,
in
John
the next
Hayden.
coming weeks. So, well, I think Mark Andrews' production is going to pick up in the later part of the season. Giovanni Bernard, tough matchup against Pitt. Very tough matchup. He only had 30 yards. But what I took from that game is the other running backs were getting carries too.
They were.
They were getting carries. Like,
They were, man.
I don't know what it is. I mean, it was a tough matchup. I guess they didn't want to. Against that Pittsburgh offense, I guess you can't run Geo.
That's very
Like
true.
you want to. Like,
It's
you know
very
what I mean?
true,
Like,
yeah.
you don't want him to get hurt. He can't take that, that punishment. He's a little guy. So
It's Pittsburgh defense.
Pittsburgh's defense. The Colts defense on Thursday night. I mean, it wasn't looking good at first, but they scored that touchdown, and that gave them 12 points.
That's why
solidly.
you got the Colts defense
That's why you gotta have in there.
slash special teams.
Yeah.
Like they
They're
scored a touchdown
solid.
on special teams. They
My
came
man
through.
Myers kicked a 60-yard field goal this week. Big ups to Myers.
Oh,
60-yard
wow.
field goal.
Wow, Max.
He don't get a lot of attempts, but when he do, he makes them. That's why he's still in there, and I didn't take him out yet. But yeah, that's my matchup for the week. Got the win, 8-2. Like I said last week, championship or bust though. I don't care about this.
I don't care about this.
My
man
first
saying he
thing I
don't
wanted
care.
to do.
He doesn't care about
First
this.
thing I wanted to do was make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think I did
Stamp that.
My next goal is the first round bye in the playoffs.
Don't sit here and say you don't care.
That's what
Don't care about a win.
I mean, I care about the win, but I'm saying like
if you'd have lost, then what? Then what would happen?
I've been blown.
Blown.
I don't care either.
I'll be mad, but
Yeah, but I will
is
say
what
that
it
you firmly supplanted your spot into the playoffs with that W right there. That was a good
Stamped
win.
it.
John,
That was
you
a
love
good
my
win.
squad. Don't do that, man.
That was a
You love
good
my
win.
squad.
Nobody loves your squad, man. All right, look, here we go, man. So we go top to bottom. I had A-Rod out there. I mean, I know A-Rod against Jacksonville. I would say if you got a quarterback and they playing Jacksonville, I would say start him, of course. A-Rod did his thing. A-Rod and Kamara pretty much been like my two holdovers. Like they've been two that's been just saving my team this year. They've been coming through. They've been coming through big time for me. So I mean, big ups to A-Rod. He ran one in, first touchdown of the year. So I mean, he looked good. He looked
like
good
to
this
see
year.
that. You love to see that.
Yeah, you love to see the
Quarterback
rush
runs in
touchdowns. You love to see the rush touchdowns from your quarterback.
Give me 6.
Next, we gonna go to Kamara. Kamara did his thing. Kamara did what Kamara's supposed to do. See what people see up here is 15 yards, 3 total touchdowns. But excuse me. But he had 83 receiving yards and he had 7 catches. So just like I said before this, we was chopping it up. I think that Kamara is essentially a receiver that takes handoffs. Yeah. Like he's that good. But
that's why he wants big money.
And
he can do both.
And his carries are efficient. His carries are efficient. I mean, he had -5 yards at halftime, but he finished with 15. But he had 8 carries. I mean, it's gonna get a little bit better. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better as the year goes on for sure. I'm gonna go to my second back, McKinnon. He played against that New Orleans defense. If anybody playing against New Orleans defense, it's really tough out there. And McKinnon just didn't have his day. He had 5.1. It helped out, but I mean, he had Antonio Gibson and Deandre Swift. I'm not gonna take nothing away from those guys. Like they both came to play. Like Deandre Swift and Antonio Gibson together. I mean, they combined for what 43.9 points. So they did their thing. Like they came out there and they balled. And I mean, it made it tough on me. It definitely made me sweat. I wasn't watching none of the games on Sunday, mind you, but when I checked the score, it definitely made me sweat. So it was what it was. Devontae Parker 4.1. So this is kind of skewed because my man got a touchdown called back that I didn't even see, but it is what it is.
I didn't see that either. How long?
I didn't see it. I don't know how long it was or nothing, but he's playing against Hop and DeAndre Parker is. Yeah, so we're not even going to get into that. I mean, big up to DeAndre Hopkins on that win because he caught that Hail Mary at the end of the game.
Hail Mary was a crazy catch, bro. That nigga is.
That's player of the year. That's player of the year. Like
Player of the
he
year.
honestly
I don't
had
think
player of the
I've
year.
ever
He
seen
had 3 people around him
I'm
and
about to
he
say,
came down
have
with
y'all
this ball.
honestly ever
Like
seen anything like that?
that joint was crazy.
I don't think I ever seen a catch like that. Like a Moss on like three
Three
niggas.
people.
3 niggas
Um,
head. Like
I would have to go.
equally
I would have to
together.
go to
I mean,
nothing.
Calvin Johnson.
Calvin, but it wasn't for the game.
Yeah, for the
Not
game.
For the game.
For the
Like,
game.
yeah, it was like 2 seconds left after that.
On the sideline, my man
Yeah.
was like, I knew I was going to catch it.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, he said when he threw it, I knew I was going to catch it. Like,
It was
that.
a big He said that.
he said that.
It's verbatim.
Nah,
So I
that's
mean,
crazy.
it was a big catch.
Shout
It
out
was
to
a big
Hop.
catch. Yeah, shout out to Hop. Definitely like the best in the game for
Hey,
sure.
Chucky P. Calvin, yeah.
Definitely like the best in the game for sure. So I mean,
Hey,
big
shout
up,
out Chucky P. for
big up to
viewing.
Hop.
Calvin
tuning
did
in.
something like that
Yeah,
before.
man, and
when
we
did
appreciate
Calvin
you. We
it
appreciate
on three
you.
people's head like that?
tuning in. You said what?
I don't remember Calvin catching.
Oh,
on
Calvin
straight
had.
catch.
Whoa.
No, I'm not saying
I'm not saying.
I'm not saying you
I'm not saying you didn't.
I'm not
but
saying you didn't have no. I'm not saying you didn't have no catches.
when you look it up,
Have y'all
you
seen
see-
somebody equally moss 3 niggas at the same equally? They were all there to make the play.
Yeah, man.
And he made the play. Like,
Calvin Johnson.
bro, I've seen Calvin do some
We're
crazy
going to find
things.
one. We're going to bring up the highlight
We
of
gonna
the
have
show.
to.
You gonna see it.
Yeah.
You gonna
Calvin
see
has
it.
some crazy.
You gonna
Randy
see it.
Moss too has
I
some
know,
crazy catches.
dog. You're acting
No,
like I'm not saying that
we
they
know,
have crazy
but
catches.
I'm saying like I don't know if that's
I don't know. I've seen niggas, catch it on 2.
It's been a
That's
lot of
true.
football. It's been a
Yeah.
lot
the
of football.
game,
3 for the game.
and that was
Yeah.
up in the air. It wasn't like I've seen some
for
Hail
the game.
Marys that like
But
come
here's the
down
thing.
here,
Here's the thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not like,
or like some shit like
but
that.
I
but
see what you're saying.
but to put more emphasis on what DeAndre Hopkins did, he didn't do it against no fluke corner. Tre'Davious White was
Yeah.
right in front of him.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
talking about Tre'Davious White was an all-pro corner last year, first team all-pro.
First team.
So
Embarrassing.
I think that he earned the respect of best wide receiver in the game with that catch. Like he definitely did.
What his man said, you the
Um,
best of the game.
Yeah,
That nigga-
yeah,
Sean
like
said-
you the best of the game. You different. He said you
That
different.
wasn't Sean that said last time that D Hop is not the guy.
No.
Dog, I feel like I remember.
Never.
hearing
No,
that.
no.
There was a time
Nobody on this show said
Never.
that. Okay,
it
so
was-
look,
Okay.
Chris
I remember
Godwin,
hearing that.
Chris Godwin had 12.2. He had a solid game. He had 12.2. So I think that going forward, I think the pecking order in that Bucks offense, I think I got the best of the bargain right there because Chris Godwin plays in a slot, and it's gonna be more Chris Godwin than anything right there. DK Metcalf, thank God he had an off game because that could have been a deciding factor right there.
Yeah.
3.8.
Fact.
Thank God that he's playing against Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey wasn't having
Jalen
it.
Ramsey.
Yeah.
I like
That shit
Jalen.
down.
Jalen had it. Jalen did his thing. My man Johnu did not have a good game. 2 catches, 14 yards, but he did have that rushing touchdown on Thursday night, and I went with my gut, and I had to throw him in there. Salvage, man, big time. Gesicki didn't do what he was supposed to do. I don't think the Dolphins pass game did too much in that game, but they didn't have to because Ahmad, his name is Salvan Ahmad. He did his thing. Robert Woods was a huge disappointment. And you look at 6.1 and you're thinking like, 6.1 is more than 0.2. Yeah, Phillip Lindsay didn't do what he's supposed to do, but 6.1 against Seattle's defense. Like we all like just like we talk about with Cooper Kupp, like he's supposed to do his thing and he didn't do his thing. So I mean that is what it is. So I mean I'm happy I came out with the dub there. New Orleans defense just shut down everything on San Fran's defense. And going forward, until Jimmy Garoppolo gets back, if you have a defense playing in San Francisco, you need to start them because Nick Mullins is not the guy. New Orleans defense, they played good. It was solid. 2 picks, 2 fumble recoveries. But I mean, if you're playing any defense that has San Francisco on the schedule, then you need to start them because it's not Jimmy Garoppolo in there. It's Nick Mullins. So if Jimmy's in there, then I would say probably temper your expectations. But as long as Nick Mullins in there, you got a viable start there at defense. I didn't have to put a kicker in there this week because I didn't want to drop my kicker. My kicker was number 1 kicker in fantasy going into week 10. Young Way. I'm limited on my transactions. I don't know if your league, this is a side note. If your league doesn't do this, it's the first year we've ever done this. If your league does not put a cap on the number of moves you can make and you can take advantage the same way I did last year, because I took advantage. I mean, to the fullest.
Trevor was like,
I feel like this move was implemented because of me. Like I would literally pick up players and drop them on Saturday so that nobody can use them. But it's a great strategy, right?
Yo, that's funny.
Isn't it great though? I mean, but
Not bad,
but
it's funny.
I mean, hey, it is what it is. I want to win. I went 11-3 last year, and I'm 5-5. I can't. I mean, no. That's not why. But it could be the truth. But I mean, still, I didn't need that. I didn't need that this week. I was limited on my transactions. I came out on top. Hey, Reese has a really good team. I'm tied with Reese. Reese beat me points with a tiebreaker, but I think going forward, Reese got a matchup this week. He got to make a break for tomorrow night. I tell you that. But I do think that I think my team did just enough. They put up 100.7. 107.7. So luckily, I came out there with the dub.
Victorious.
Yeah, feels good, man. It feels really good.
Here. You want to go through them for John?
Oh, this is John's buy low, sell high. He's not with us again. He had his wife gave birth, so we're gonna take over this one today. Shout out to that again.
Of course.
So buy Ezekiel Elliott, running back Cowboys. Zeke hasn't looked like Zeke that we know, but at the end of the day, he's still Zeke. He has a good schedule down the stretch. So if you can get Zeke, I don't know if your trade deadline is over in your league. Ours end on the 25th next week. But if you can go get Zeke, I would try to go get Zeke.
I think it gets better because Andy Dalton's coming back this week. So the offense is going to open up a little bit more.
Yeah. Same thing with Lamar Jackson. If you can buy Lamar Jackson, buy him. Again, he has a great playoff schedule.
Mm-hmm. He does have a good playoff schedule, bro.
I think I have his playoff schedule right here. Let me, so I can get that to y'all. So Lamar, for his playoff for weeks 14 through 16, he plays Cleveland, Jacksonville, New York. So those are definitely defenses that he should be able to get points on. It hasn't looked real good this year for the Ravens, but if you can go get Lamar, buy him low. You can get him for cheap. You don't have to give up too much. I would go get Lamar Jackson. Next up, Jarvis Landry. You watched that game last week. You saw it was a delay. The weather was terrible out there. So with Odell going down, Jarvis hasn't shown that he's the guy, but I feel like in the next coming weeks, they're going to have to throw the ball, and Jarvis Landry is the guy that's going to get most of those targets. So if you can go get Jarvis Landry for low, you should be able to get him for dirt cheap. You can trade, maybe you got 2 tight ends. You trade the tight end and get Jarvis Landry. Like somebody that you don't care about, you can maybe go get Jarvis Landry. And I feel like he's going to give you better production down the stretch. Clyde Edwards, Hiller. I will buy low on him also because he hasn't done much in these past weeks, but he's still the number 1 running back on the number 1 offense. So if you can go buy low on Clyde Edwards, Hiller. Le'Veon hasn't shown that he's going to take his job. So, if we can buy low on him, buy low. Antonio Brown. He also has a great playoff schedule. The Bucs for their playoff schedule, they play Minnesota, Atlanta, and Detroit. Take advantage of that. Those are teams that can be beat. Antonio Brown last week had 7 receptions for 69 yards. So he's getting targets, and I feel like, Tom Brady, it's only going to get better, gradually through the weeks. He's getting his feet wet, he's getting back in the stride. So if you can go get Antonio Brown for cheap, go get him. Yeah,
Antonio Brown is involved in the offense. I think he should go and get him for sure.
He's Antonio Brown. He's a great talent. Yeah. If you could put a low risk, high reward, that's what it is.
Yeah, and that's what your flex is. Yeah. Your flex is low risk, high reward.
Exactly.
You want a solid floor. I think that Antonio Brown can give you 8 to 9 every single week.
Was he in the news for something this week? That's not
some other stuff. They're trying to bag Antonio Brown. Don't worry about none of that. Don't worry about none of that. All that stuff is
he getting a paycheck again. So now they're like, let's go.
Let me get some of that.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, all right, we'll go to a sell highs. You got Nyheim Hines on there. I would sell high because of the way that the backfield is in Indianapolis. Like Frank, right? He rides the high hand. So, I mean, believe it or not, Nyheim Hines had a great game last week. It could be Jonathan Taylor that has a great game. That's getting 5, 8, 9-yard carries, and then he just goes with Jonathan Taylor for the rest of the game. It can be Jordan Wilkins that goes in there and just has 5, 8, 9. It's the same thing, vice versa. So I think that I know that he has him on there because of that reason. You don't know who's getting the ball in that Indy backfield. It's kind of dangerous, man. If you start Nyheim Hines, it's like I hope that he's the guy, but I'm not too sure. So I will go Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones had a 98-yard carry, I think. 98 yards to the house. 98 yards to the house. So 98 yards to the house and he has Leonard Fournette playing behind him. Like, I mean, that's no slouch. Like one slip up and Leonard Fournette is in there taking that carry 98 to the house. He's proven it. So I mean, I can see why he has that on there too, because he's playing behind a solid back. Those games can go either way. Exactly. Those games can go either way. Damien Harris, Damien Harris is somebody that I would disagree with because I like Damien Harris, and I think Damien Harris. I think you should hold Damien Harris, but if you could sell him high off that last game, he had 121 yards. I think you should sell him if you need that. But Damien Harris could help your team. He could definitely help your team if need be, but that's another story for another day. And Marvin Jones, I would sell high coming off his big game because Galladay is going to come back at some point, and Galladay is going to demand those targets. Like Galladay is he's the better player. Galladay is the better player in Detroit, so I think that Galladay is going to demand those targets. I think you definitely can sell high on Marvin Jones. Will Fuller's coming off a bad game. I think that this is the time where you could probably. So John, I'm sorry, I would disagree with this only because I think that Houston is going to be down a lot of games. I think Will Fuller is going to be the go-to guy. I think Will Fuller is solid.
So what you're saying? You see better weeks ahead for Will Fuller.
I see better weeks ahead. For Will Fuller. Yeah, I think that it was windy. That game, it was windy and raining. That game got delayed on Sunday. A lot of people don't know these things. Yeah. So going into it, and you see Will Fuller stats, you're like, oh, he's a bum. Like, no, he's solid. But he just had a bad week, man. Bad week.
The Houston Texans as a whole had a bad week.
Yeah, the Houston Texans as a whole had a bad week. Even Deshaun Watson, we could put Deshaun Watson on that list as for the same reasons, but we're not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Will Fuller. I feel like there's better days ahead for Will Fuller, but right now you could be like, look, Will Fuller had a bad game. He has better games ahead. You could sell him high. I think that's where he's going right there.
Is Damien Harris a flex or running back 2 right now?
What you think, Sean?
I would say Damien Harris is more of a flex play than a running back.
I would say flex only because I feel like Sonny Michel's coming back.
Yeah, Sonny Michel's coming back.
Sonny Michel's coming back.
Getting word.
Yeah, Burkhead had a solid game too.
Harris
so
is solid though.
The backfield is kind of like it's kind of up and down there. It's kind of up and down
I would play him as a flex more than a running back 2. Like I don't think he's a solid top 20 play every week. He's a top 25, 30 play.
For sure.
Like he's more of a running back 3 to me than a running back 2.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
The
Juan
players
asked a question up there that we missed.
What?
No, Juan had a question. Yeah, Juan did have a question up there.
Would you trade Cooper Kupp for Swift?
Immediately.
Now.
Immediately. like I got Deandre Swift. Deandre Swift is finishing. I think that top 15. I think DeAndre Swift finishes top 15. I think that he's the top back in Detroit. If you got DeAndre Swift on your team, keep him. If you can go get him right now, you should go get him. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Josh Reynolds. You don't know who's getting the ball in that offense. My guy is Robert Woods. Robert Woods gets carries. So, it's you don't know who's winning the ball in that offense. It's usually Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. The reason why I'm saying it's those two guys because those two guys got paid this year. But if you're gonna trade him, you gotta have good. You better have better wideouts because Cooper Kupp is essential to your team. He's gonna be essential to your team. So, but if you can make the move to where you got depth at wide receiver, and then make the move one, definitely make the move.
Traded Jerry Judy.
I'll read it. I traded Jerry Judy and CeeDee Lamb for Henderson. Is that a good trade?
No.
No.
I mean,
No.
no.
Yeah, you're talking about Henderson.
Judy's getting better every week, and Henderson, Malcolm Brown be stealing his touchdowns.
Yeah, man.
It's
It's like
all the way down there, and they don't feel like they need to give him the ball. I don't like that.
the running backs by Camille are scary.
It's scary.
You don't know who's getting the ball. Like you don't know who stretched better in pregame. Like, I mean, like that's really where they are. That's really where they are. That's where the Ravens are. That's where the Colts are. That's where the Rams are. They have 3 backups. They have 3 backs that can go scattered around the league and be the guy.
Who are your wide receivers?
Yeah, who are your wideouts, Fabian?
Receivers?
All right, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But
he said his wide receivers are good already.
yeah, but we need to know who those
Put
guys
in the
are.
chat who your wide receivers are already.
Yeah, and we'll see.
Let's get to this one.
Would you trade Eric Ebron
Shout out
for
to
Antonio Brown?
It's already happened.
I mean, yeah, but only because his team was weak at tight end, man. He was hurting. Like he's cool AB. He wasn't going.
He got Gallman out of it.
He wasn't going to use him. Yeah, he got Gallman too, but I'm not too sure. Oh, yes, Metcalf, Lockett, and Corey Davis. You're investing a lot in that Seattle offense, my guy. But I will say, Corey Davis is a question mark.
He's hit or miss.
If Josh Reynolds is a free agent, you need to go get him.
Who are your running backs?
Yeah, who are your running backs, man?
That's the question. Why are you trying to get Henderson? Who are your running backs?
Who are your running backs? And then let's move on, bro. For sure. I mean, whole Mark Andrews for sure. Whole Aaron Jones. If you have Aaron Jones on your team, do not expect the best week this week coming up because Aaron Jones is about to play the number 1 defense in football in the Indianapolis Colts, and Darius Leonard is not having none of it. So if Aaron Jones has a good game, he has a good game. That's great. Mike Evans has a great game. That's great also. Tampa Bay plays the Rams, and the Rams just shut down DK Metcalf and them. And if he's lined up in front of Jalen Ramsey, who I suspect he will be, you need to temper your expectations. I don't think that you can't bench him, of course, but temper your expectations for Mike Evans this week. Yeah, 100%.
Homie said Jacobs and Hines and Harris, and now Henderson are his running backs.
Yeah, I mean, you needed another running back. I agree.
Yeah, you needed a running back for sure, but you're not starting Henderson. You're not starting Henderson over those guys.
I mean, you could start him over Hines or Harris.
What? Like, what are we looking at? I mean,
but
Hines. Okay, so wait.
Hines had one. I mean, he had a couple of games.
Hines is better than Jordan Wilkins.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so Hines is in there. If Jonathan Taylor's not doing his thing, then it's going to be Nyheim Hines.
Okay.
Damien Harris is starting. Josh Jacobs is Josh Jacobs.
I mean, I'm not going to say it's a bad trade.
I'm not going to say it's a bad trade.
You never know what trades are going to be, but.
Well, who's his wideouts again? Metcalf, Lockett, and Corey Davis. Yeah. All right.
I mean, Metcalf and Lockett.
I don't think it moved the needle for him.
Metcalf and Lockett are wide receiver ones, but you have both of them, so.
I think that he could have not made the trade and been good.
Yeah, but I mean, you got another running back. Running backs are big in fantasy, I guess.
Very good.
That's true.
Yeah. You muted. Okay. We're gonna move on to the stardom sit-ems. So we're gonna start with Jameis Winston against Atlanta. As everyone knows, I mean, Atlanta has a good rush defense, but they haven't been able to stop anyone from throwing the ball on them. Jameis Winston playing with the weapons that he has and with the Saints, I feel like he can have a good day against them. Atlanta allows the most fantasy points to quarterbacks this year, so I would fire Jameis up this week.
Oh, wait. Can I say something about that?
Yes. What you guys say about it? Let me hear it.
We're talking about 30 for 30 right now, man.
What you mean? I mean,
he's in a different
situation. Yeah, he's in a different situation with Sean Payton, and I'm going off the matchup. They have given up the most fantasy points to quarterbacks this season.
Going off the matchup.
So I think
I mean, you're going off the matchup. I feel you,
What's
but
your gripe?
my gripe is that guy throws interceptions when he goes down the field. When that guy go down the field,
that was Bruce Arians'
he
offense.
threw 10 passes last week,
Yeah.
and he had a pick dropped.
You see it? You see it?
A lot of
Did you see
quarterbacks
it?
had picks dropped
Did you see it? Did you see
every
it?
week.
Antoine's more saying
30 for 30.
He threw 10 passes and he threw almost a pick.
Almost a pick.
Almost doesn't
Like,
count.
whoa,
We're not going to talk about almost.
Almost doesn't count.
We're not going to talk about almost.
His sample size, he looked mediocre.
He said this
Like
sample
what?
size.
4 of his completions went to Alvin Kamara.
Come on, man.
All right, bro. I mean, I'm not saying that he's not going to do his thing. I just think that Atlanta.
So if you stream
A lot of people are discounting.
If Aaron Rodgers is on bye this week and you had no quarterback, you want to think about Jameis?
No,
You're tripping.
I would be scooping
Yeah,
Teddy.
Jameis was 30
Who's
for 30, but
Teddy?
he also had huge fantasy weeks last year. And I feel like this can be one of those games.
I ain't
playing
seen it from Teddy.
Atlanta.
I ain't seen it from Teddy. I would scoop somebody else.
Playing Atlanta.
I'll scoop somebody else. I'm not saying that it's a bad start. I'm just
I'm
saying
not saying
like
he's an every week start, but this week
temper your expectations for Jameis because you don't know what
What
you're
do you
going to
mean
get.
temper?
You think he's going to go out there and have a good game?
Yeah.
What you think? What you think? What you expect out of Jameis? Come on, half PPR.
Happy. I mean, it don't matter what the quarterback.
Yes, it do. Yes, it does. It doesn't matter because you have Kyler. But I mean,
but they don't get no.
I bet. What are you expecting from Jameis?
I see a solid 18 to 20 points from Jameis Winston.
Okay.
18 to 20.
Okay.
That's
You
solid.
don't agree with that, or you agree with
No.
that? No.
So what do you think Jameis is going to have?
12.
No. No, not 12. Not 12. That would be really disrespectful.
15. Like,
Yeah, I think 15, 16 points from Jameis.
all right.
They're not going to run those trick plays with Jameis. Like, come on.
Start Justin Herbert against the worst team in the NFL.
Start him.
I'm loading up. If you got any Chargers player this week, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen,
He
yeah.
said I'm loading
Yeah,
up.
you got to. You got to load up against the Jets.
like you're starting all those guys.
For sure.
Hunter Henry's on there. You see him.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't got
So-
Keenan on that. I mean, Keenan's automatic, though. So, yeah. I feel you.
I got Kalen Ballage.
New York is ranked 29th against quarterbacks this year. It's only 32 teams in the league. So fire up Justin Herbert this week with confidence. DeAndre Swift. We talked about him earlier in the show.
Big week for DeAndre Swift.
Big
Right here.
week
This
for DeAndre
might be the
Swift.
breakout game right here. This might be the
Big week.
breakout game.
His first start was last week, and he put on a show. He looked good.
This is his first start?
Yeah, that was his first start last week. The first time he was
Yeah, like
started.
23 touches, right? Or
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. First time he started
Yeah.
last week. And you saw what Ronald Jones did to Carolina last week. Gashed them for 200 yards. Gashed them for 200 yards, and they give up the third most fantasy points to running backs. So you're firing up DeAndre Swift this week with confidence. You're going to love it. You're going to love the production he's going to give you this week.
Just not catching the dub, bro. They're not, John.
live.
They're not, John. We're good. We're good.
Not
Hey,
this
John, we're good. We're good.
We're going to move on to my man, the running back from the practice squad, Balaj.
No, don't do
Many
that.
of you may not know him, but he has had 40 touches over the last 2 weeks.
Damn.
40. And the Jets rank 26 amongst running backs this year. So you do the math. I feel like he's going to give high-end running back 2, running back 1 numbers this week.
Of course.
Balaj, fire him up.
Of course he does.
Juju Smith-Schuster is my next start. Jacksonville's defense ranks 24 this season against wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Juju's top 7 or more receptions in the last 4 weeks, and also has 67 or more yards in that span. And he scored 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, big week for Juju.
So I feel like Big Ben and Juju, they're getting in tune finally again. From what, 2 years ago when he had that big season? They're fine. I feel like they're finally getting in tune.
Big week for Juju.
Big week for Juju. So fire Juju up also this week. Christian Kirk, as we said in many other weeks, Seattle's defense is terrible. And Christian Kirk is the deep threat guy for Kyler Murray. Yeah, I'm playing.
Yeah, you hope it doesn't
I'm
happen,
playing
but
Christian
it's
Kirk this week, but
it's going to happen tomorrow night.
I'm scared.
I hope it
because
happens.
I can see Christian Kirk getting behind that defense and scoring a touchdown. But,
It's going to happen,
I'm going to
bro.
be realistic.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Hunter Henry, like I said, they're playing the worst team against the Jets. Fire Hunter Henry up. Rob Gronkowski.
Boo.
Rob Gronkowski. I feel like the Rams are going to have to deal with AB, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin. So I feel like that's going to leave it open for Gronkowski. So I feel like Gronkowski is a good trade candidate right now. If you need a tight end, try to go get Gronk, because with those three receivers, they're going to open it up for Gronk. And Tom Brady loves to go to Gronk in the red zone. So if you can get Gronk, I would try to go get him and fire him up this week if you already have him. Start the Chargers D against the Jets. No explanation needed there. Start the Browns defense against Philly.
Well, that's real. That's real, man. That's real.
We're gonna move to the sit-ems for this week.
Oh man.
I mean,
There's no explanation.
Where's team in football? What are they? 0-10?
They haven't won a game.
No, haven't won a game.
Damn, they was about to beat the Patriots too.
I know.
Yeah.
Almost doesn't count, like we
Almost,
said.
no, of course.
Like we said.
100%.
Sit Jared Goff against Tampa. He played Seattle last week and couldn't get it done. Tampa has one of the better pass defenses in the league. So you're sitting Jared Goff against Tampa. Sit Tua against Denver. I like Tua. He's a good player. Like he showed me a lot. He's proven me wrong. Like what I see him moving in the pocket, like running when he needs to, but he doesn't run when he doesn't need to. He looks down the field and finds the receivers. So I like that from Tua. Downgrade Aaron Rodgers against Indy. Of course, you're starting Aaron Rodgers, but should halt the expectations against Indy, number one defense in the league. Yeah. So downgrade Aaron Rodgers. Bench him if you can. If you got somebody else on there.
Hey, so what do you got to do?
All right, Jonathan Taylor.
Starting him, man.
Jonathan Taylor. Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I mean,
trust-
everybody's
you always
starting
gotta
Aaron
trust-
Rodgers.
Yeah, you was going to trust. What's his name?
Everybody's starting Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, terrible.
Start Jonathan Taylor versus Green. I mean, sit Jonathan Taylor against Green Bay. The matchup is there. It's there. Like, this is the matchup that you put on your calendar for Jonathan Taylor, but has not been showing up. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's scared or he's the NFL game is too fast for him, but he's not living up. Marlon Mack went down. I'm thinking, oh, Jonathan Taylor's about to show off. He's definitely he might be top 5 in rushing yards.
Yeah,
this
might.
year.
But no,
he's not getting it done. So I would sit Jonathan Taylor. I mean, you got Naeem Hines, Wilkins. Who's going to be the guy this week? It's not going to be Jonathan Taylor. We know that. Todd Gurley.
It's not going to be Jonathan Taylor.
He's not on there. But I
Never.
would sit Todd Gurley against New Orleans. I got a next gen stat for y'all. Gurley ranks 33rd in juke rate, and he's 29th with 1.14 yards created per attempt. That means he's not making anything happen by himself. Nothing. He's not getting out of any tackles. He's not doing nothing. If the hole's not
Falling
there,
into the end zone.
that's it. If the
That's
hole,
blowing me.
if the hole is not
my
there,
trade look so bad. like he's making my trade look so bad because he's number 8. Like is
exactly.
he number 8 right now?
Yes.
My
If the
God.
hole is not there, Gurley isn't doing anything. Or he's falling in the end zone, like Twan said. I mean, he has like 8 touchdowns in 10 games.
He's falling into the zone.
Downgrade James Robinson versus Pitt. Pitt has, I think, the best rush defense in
It's
the league.
Pittsburgh.
They're
Has
number
anybody
one
been
against
watching the league this year? It's Pittsburgh. You see DJ Chark's up there next. It's Pittsburgh. Nothing is going on out there. Mike Tomlin's not having none of it. Like, that's Mike Tomlin's personal unit. Like he's
Hey.
you. Hey, yeah, look, son. You call the offense. I'm coaching these
I
guys.
got the defense.
Minka, Joe, Devin Bush. Well, he's out. Devin Bush out for the year. TJ Watt.
Hey.
You guys hold it down. Get it done. Like it's not happening. Like I don't understand. Like if you're still starting players that you can, if you're still starting players that you can sub out against the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're tripping. You're tripping, bro.
But James Robinson,
It ain't happening.
He's a hard sit, but if you got somebody,
No. James Robinson, you got to start.
You got to start, but don't
get me
expect.
wrong.
Don't expect too much. I mean, he could score a touchdown.
He might score, but he might have like
but he might not.
11 bull.
Yeah. DJ Shark against Pitt again. I feel like what is Jacksonville down to their second string quarterback?
It's Jake Luton.
Jake Luton.
You are who we thought you
So
were.
I feel like the Pittsburghs, I feel like their D-line and their front seven are going to get to him. He's not going to have all those opportunities to take shots to DJ Shark down the field. Of course, you're starting Shark. I mean, you have nothing else.
Man said, "Fuck it."
Hey,
man,
welcome.
Collie, fuck it.
Hey,
And,
welcome,
I feel you.
We miss
I
you
feel
from
you. I
last
feel you. I
week.
feel you. Yeah, we did miss you, Steven. We miss you like shit, bro. We miss you like shit, bro. Mike Evans against Los Angeles Rams. We talked about that.
Come over for the game tomorrow, man. Root on Colin Murray, your favorite guy. But sit Mike Evans against the Rams. I mean, Jalen Ramsey.
We just talked about that.
You saw what he did against Metcalf.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to do the same thing against Mike Evans.
Mike Evans might have 0 tomorrow.
Sit Mike Evans.
Nigga might have 0.
Downgrade AJ Brown against Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. 2 all-pro corners.
2 all-pro corners. So it's going to be tough out there. Tough sledding out there for AJ Brown. But I'm going to bench him because he's still the number one guy in that offense. And they go to him early and often.
Side note. Yeah, Kylie. Fuck Kyler Murray, nigga. Hey, but I mean, you can't hate. Fuck Kyler Murray, nigga. Hey, I feel you, bro. I feel you.
You're going to bench Noah Fant against the Dolphins. The Dolphins D is very underrated this year.
Very
underrated. They have been solid.
Very, yes, yeah.
And Noah Fant, he's been disappointing this year. I thought he was going to have like a top 5 to 7 tight end year, but it's not looking like that so far this year.
Mm-hmm.
Downgrade Jonnu Smith against Baltimore. Humphreys is going to be on that. All on that. So
All on that.
Jonnu Smith, I would downgrade him this week. Sit Houston's D against New England. Yeah, New England's offense haven't been playing well, but the Texans' defense is terrible. It's
They're
trash.
bad.
They're bad.
You got players.
If-
Start your
if you're
players
like,
against
I'm
Texans.
gonna start No, they're bad.
Yeah, start your players against the Texans.
Downgrade Indianapolis D against Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers. That's all I got to say about that. So yeah, those are your stardom symptoms for the week. If you start somebody and it's wrong, don't blame me.
Don't blame us, please. So
Don't
look,
blame
we're
me.
gonna get into the playoff targets, man. These are the players we think you should get going into the playoffs for sure. Oh my God.
All right, so these are the players to target. These are the players with good matchups. They're the players to target, but we just want to give you like who has the good matchups for the playoffs. Like if you're worried about Lamar Jackson, he plays, like I said, Cleveland, Jacksonville, and New York. So don't bench him being cute, or if you can't go get him, try to go get him, but don't bench him those weeks because it hasn't been great, but I feel like Lamar Jackson is going to come up huge for people in the playoffs. Also, Derrick Henry. He might have the best playoff matchup of any player in fantasy. Jacksonville, Detroit, and Green Bay. I think that's the best playoffs matchups.
I think if you have Detroit and Green Bay, if you have Derrick Henry in your team when he plays Detroit and Green Bay, you might win the ship, bro. He might put up 30 and 30. He might go 30 for 30 against Detroit and Green Bay. Like literally, bro. They're trash. They cannot stop. They can't stop nosebleeds, son. Like
Also,
they can't.
David Montgomery.
No comment.
David Montgomery. He has Houston, Minnesota, and Jacksonville. I feel like David Montgomery
sucks.
In the last,
I feel like David Montgomery sucks. I feel like
come on.
No, bro. He sucks.
He sucks.
He sucks.
Do that. You were the person last year telling me he was the best player on the Bears, And I told you, Allen Robinson.
Yeah, 4 score in last year ago.
But if we
Like, I mean,
yeah,
he was trash.
If we just
He's
go,
trash.
but he's top 20 right now, and he missed.
He
the
is
game.
what we thought he was.
He's top 20. He's number 20 in our league, and he missed the game.
I don't agree.
So
I think
I feel
David
like,
Montgomery sucks.
those games. I feel like these next 5 games, David Montgomery can be a solid running back too.
Could is the key word.
He's gonna be a solid running back too. Down the stretch.
All right, we're gonna see.
It's gonna be a solid.
He sucks, man.
Okay, Tampa wide receivers. You have Evans, Godwin, and Brown.
I agree.
I feel like you might be able to start all 3.
Mhm.
Not on your one team, but
Mhm.
I feel like around the league you can start all 3.
Mhm.
They got Minnesota, Atlanta, Detroit.
Yeah,
Those matchups are great.
those secondaries are garbage.
Garbage. And I feel like all of them can produce in those games. Like all of them. Like start the Tampa receivers in the playoffs. If you got one of them, start them for sure. Allen Robinson. Last couple games, he's been iffy, but look at his playoff schedule. Houston, Minnesota, and Jacksonville. As you can see, it's been the same teams throughout.
Yeah,
Like,
it's gonna be
you know,
the same teams. Like
Those are the bum
overall,
teams, the
overall
bum
units,
defenses. Yeah,
they're bad.
they're bad.
They're bad.
They're bad.
The only thing I would take away from you
Your
is
star
David
players
Montgomery.
should ball
And John. You can put John's comment up there. He's right. Like no. The last comment. No, the last comment. Yeah. Like I was loving David Montgomery last year, even though you spelled my name wrong. But still, I was loving David Montgomery last year. But David Montgomery this year, like he's gotten the opportunities.
He's number 20. That's a running back too. He's number 20 right now. Look at his schedule.
Take away that one game where you rushed for 106.
No, we're not taking away no game.
I'm not taking away no
Don't do that.
What do you mean you're not taking away one game? That what happened in week 2. That's what I'm saying. Like it happened early. Like he hasn't done
Also been
anything.
involved in the pass game too.
Bruh,
the
no,
Bears.
bruh. What pass game?
Bruh. He's
Trash.
number 20 right now.
Trash. You can name, just like I told you earlier, you can name 15 better backs than that guy going down the stretch.
You can name 15 better backs, but
Down the
you can
stretch.
name
That
15
you're
better
starting
backs
over David
or
Montgomery.
better schedules? I
So
don't know.
Fuck no, son.
Look at that schedule.
No. I bet you they couldn't play against David Montgomery.
So
I bet you they couldn't play this bum ass.
those are our players to target.
Their O-line is
They got a
trash. The only player I'll give you everybody else on there is a player to target except for David Montgomery. He's trash. Thank you.
Yeah, he's
Sauce.
He's not the
Trash.
like he's but
Guard.
he's still the number 20 running back
Guard.
right now.
Guard. For
still the
one
number
game,
20
for
running
one
back.
game, based off of one game in volume.
After that's what fantasy's about. He's going to get a lot of
Yeah,
that
but
against these defenses. That's what
No,
I'm
he
saying.
had it one game out of 9.
What
Sean.
do you mean?
That's what I'm saying.
game?
Like one game out of 9.
50?
No, he had 106 yards, I think, against week 2.
What do you mean? You're talking how many touchdowns did he have?
He has 2 touchdowns this year. 2 total
Okay, but you're saying
out of 9 games.
you're saying that one game.
Put it in
was
perspective.
for
Put it in
100 yards?
perspective. Put it in perspective.
I don't get it.
Put this in perspective. The other guys that you're talking about, the other guys, they have way more touchdowns than him. He's not finding the zone. No running back from the Bears is finding the zone. They're trash.
He's top 20 right now.
He's number 20 right now.
Okay.
Don't say top.
He said he's tired.
He's number.
He's number 20.
He's number.
After
He's like 0.6 away from being 21.
after
Like,
9
am I
weeks.
wrong?
After
Am
9
I wrong?
weeks,
Am I
he's
wrong?
20.
Bruh,
I don't
Bruh,
understand. After
you
9
don't
weeks,
believe
he's
that.
20.
You don't believe that.
He's top 20. Top 20 is a
Is he in
running
a
back.
concussion protocol right now? Did he play last week?
They have a bye, so he'll be back.
Did he play last week?
He'll be back.
Did he play last
Yeah,
week?
he missed a week and he's still number 20. So
No.
if he played,
I don't want that
if
guy.
he played last week, he could be number 17.
Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, or David Montgomery? Who you want?
David Montgomery.
Yeah. For the sake of the argument, you're going to say.
No, because he's the only running back there.
Okay, so you want him over Ronald Jones?
When he's getting the goal line, when they're on
You
the
want
goal
him over
line,
Ronald Jones or
when
not?
they're on the goal line, you know David Montgomery's getting the ball. You don't know if Ronald Jones or it's going to be Leonard Fournette. Ooh.
It's going to be one of those. It's not going to be David Montgomery. If all three of those, all three of those guys on the same team,
We're not doing that.
all
All
right,
right,
doing
we're
with
going
us.
to move
Okay.
on to the players, I guess, to avoid in the playoffs. Or not avoid,
Okay.
but the players with the bad matchups in the playoffs.
Y'all did it. Okay.
I'll give you all those guys except for David.
Watch,
give you
man.
David.
We're going to see. We're going to be back here.
We
and I'm
gonna,
going to
my
let
nigga,
them know.
we will see.
Go ahead.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna tell you. I know the players to avoid. I got
Josh Allen up there. I mean, no. Player. I wouldn't say players to avoid.
Bad matchups.
Players with bad matchups. So we'll skew the name. But players with bad matchups. I got Josh Allen. Josh Allen in the playoffs got Pitt. Then he got a sweet matchup against Denver. Then the matchup you might think is sweet against New England, but the New England corners are actually solid. J.C. Jackson and Stephon Gilmore are actually solid corners. I feel like it's temper your expectations with Josh Allen. Of course, you're not going to bench him, but if you got him going into the playoffs, like it's not going to be Josh Allen against the Cardinals or nothing like that. Like it's not going to be what you expect because Bill Belichick's going to dial it up. You know, Mike Tomlin's going to dial. Y'all know how we all feel about Pittsburgh's defense. Denver, week 15, you got him. If you got him right there, that first round of the playoffs, week 15, if you got that bye, then yeah, he's going to ball. But that New England matchup is not that sweet. Tennessee, James Robinson, he should go off week 14, but then he got Baltimore, then he got Chicago. Y'all seen what Chicago just did? Y'all seen what Chicago just did to Dalvin Cook? And Dalvin Cook had 13. And Dalvin Cook and James Robinson, yeah, it was a different tier. We're talking about different tiers of running backs here. So I would definitely say temper your expectation with James Robinson. Don't expect what you think from James Robinson outside of that Tennessee matchup because they're going to have him involved in Tennessee. But Baltimore and Chicago for sure. Julio got the Chargers, Tampa Bay, and KC. Those are all tough matchups because if Chris Harris comes back, I think Chris Harris changes the outlook of that Chargers secondary. Tampa Bay's defense, they got my man Dean, and I forgot other buddy's name. But he's a baller. They're solid. Jamal Dean, and the other buddy, Bashar Breeland is balling, and they just signed DeAndre Baker. DeAndre Baker from the Giants was going to be probably getting in there fresh off the felony charges. He's coming in. He's coming in hot. And Tyrann Mathieu not having it either. So they're going to be queuing on him. I'm not going to say
be sleeping. People be like, start these guys against KC.
Yeah, like KC, like
they got guys out there.
It ain't sweet against KC out there. I mean,
they gonna put up a lot of points. Don't mean the other team's gonna put up.
I'm telling you, bro. Like it's not as sweet as people think it is. I think that KC is going to hold it down. I think that KC game is going to be more of a Ridley game. All right, that Adam Thielen, Tampa Bay, everybody knows how I feel about that. Chicago, once again, how I feel about that. And then New Orleans, he's going to have to see Marshawn Lattimore everywhere he goes. Or even better, Janoris Jenkins, who's playing better than Marshawn Lattimore. There you go. I think temper your expectations, but it could be more like a Bears game to where they're focused more on the next guy on this list, Dalvin Cook, and they commit to the run, and it opens up more for Adam Thielen. So it goes hand to hand with Adam Thielen and Dalvin Cook. Luckily, my man right here on my right has both of them. So we're not talking about Jefferson East because they're going to be keyed on Thielen.
Yeah, big fact.
That's why. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like Steven,
see my man's touchdown catch.
Yeah, bro. Come on, one-handed. He's grabbing one-handed catches out there. Just like I said last week,
Jefferson's running by himself.
If you watched the show last week, I said Adam Thielen is matchup proof. What do you have? 40 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like he's matchup proof. What are you saying? Like you talk about these players. It's
going to be Dalvin Cook or it's going to be Adam Thielen.
Yeah, you talk about these guys. Like if they score touchdowns,
so I'll take it.
They put up how many points? They put up 20, 30. It doesn't matter. But those touchdowns, it's not going to be Jefferson. Mm-hmm. You know, like I mean, Jefferson had 117 yards. He was great.
135.
Jefferson was great. 135 yards. 135 yards. He's a great guy. Don't get me wrong. But in the red zone, Kirk Cousins is looking for Adam Thielen because he's the best route runner on the team. He broke Buddy down on that in and out when he was in a slot behind, I think, your man Justin Jefferson, and scored a touchdown on the out. And then did he beat Fuller one-on-one with the one-handed catch?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to say Fuller. You can look it up. You guys look it up if you want. But I don't want to say it was Fuller. But he beat somebody one-on-one and caught the ball one-handed with his left hand. Jesus Christ. And then, yeah, it was what it was. But I feel like it goes hand in hand. It's either going to be Cook. It's either going to be Cook or Thielen in those games. Absolutely. And all 3 of those matchups are very tough. Tampa Bay, Chicago, and New Orleans, you never want to see those defenses on your roster. Like, when you see those defenses, you're like, oh, my goodness, because you think about Marshawn Lattimore, you think about Khalil Mack, you think about the entire Bucs defense. Shaquille Barrett, Jamal Dean, and Dominican Sue. You think about all those guys. Like, it's tough. It's tough going down the stretch. Like, hopefully you expect the worst and hope for the best when it comes to those two players, but there are two players you're not benching. So for sure, I would definitely say start them, but temper your expectations when it comes to those
Talking
guys
about yards,
in those
Steven.
matchups.
Thielen has 9
Sure.
touchdowns in 9 games. Bro.
Sure.
He-
I mean,
He scores
but
touchdowns. Yeah,
but-
Jefferson can get the yards. I don't.
Jefferson is the second guy. He's not the guy, Steven. Like, I mean, here's the thing. How many points did he have? How many points did Thielen have? And how many yards did your guy have? Because
Fantasy.
Thielen is scoring touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Like, Thielen is scoring touch.
It's like he leads the league in receiving touchdowns.
Exactly. Like, I mean, look, he could do everything to get down there, but then it's Thielen, 6. Like, your guy did 4 to get down there. My guy had 6 on one foot. Like, that's how it is. Like, that's what fantasy is about.
Yeah.
We're not talking about, oh, wait, even in real life, I think Adam Thielen is better than Justin Jefferson in real life, but the defensive coordinator knows that too. Defensive coordinator is like, I'm gonna shift my entire defense towards Adam Thielen, not towards Justin Jefferson. I'm gonna expect my backup corner to try to shut this down, but I want Fuller on this. Like, this is not gonna beat me because this is what's expected.
People lose by
Come on,
0.5,
man.
Steven. People lose by 0.5 points. So they needed that 0.5 from Thielen.
They did.
Don't get me wrong.
We're gonna
Steven.
go over
Justin
under.
Jefferson
We're gonna
is
answer anybody's
he's a
questions.
beast.
Anybody got any questions about starting center? Oh man, matter of fact, I got a question. I got a question for whoever is tuned in right now. Between Hayden Hurst and Hunter Henry, who would y'all start this week at tight end? I got Hayden Hurst versus New Orleans, who is not that good at guarding the tight end. And I got Hunter Henry, who my man got on the stardoms against the Jets. So, who y'all got? And this is a big decision for me. I told my man I would probably let y'all pick this decision, but I gotta do some more research on it. But I want to know who y'all would start. Would y'all start Hunter Henry, or would y'all start Hayden Hurst? Would y'all start Hunter Henry against the Jets or Hayden Hurst against New Orleans, who's not that good against the tight ends? Don't be scared of New Orleans defense to where, like, oh, they shut down everything, because the tight end Hunter Henry scored against that defense. Like, a lot of tight ends go off against them. So please give me your opinion and please let me know, because I'm having a tough decision right there starting this defense. And this is make a break. This is make a break for me right now, fellas.
Put it in the chat.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is make a break for me. I'm 5-5.
You gotta win everything. You gotta win.
I need it all, man. I need it all. John, if you're still watching, I want you to know you fucked me.
Yeah.
Bro, like, I want you to know you fucked me, John. And dog,
How many wins is he at? 2?
John got 3, but
3, okay.
but he fucked me because I'm supposed to win that game. I'm supposed to win that game, but still, I need to win this week, and I need to know. I feel like it's going to come down to my tight end position. I need to know. Start Hayden Hurst, Hunter Henry. Like, if we can get at least 2 answers before we leave.
Yes.
Like, I need to know. I need to know, bro. Now this is big. I told P this week. I was like, bro, I need this. I told him I would probably let them decide who to start. Everybody probably trying to scramble, do their little research right now.
Can we get an answer?
Like, who y'all think? Hayden Hurst or Hunter Henry? Please tell me. Please, dog. I need to know. I'm hurting at every other position.
You got John. You've been starting Johnu at tight end.
I started Jonu last week.
But you're not starting.
Nah, he playing Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Baltimore's tough. Baltimore's a no-go.
Give me the wrong answer. I need you to lose. Just give an answer, damn it.
Give an answer, man. Give an answer. Give an answer, bro. Give an answer. We sitting here waiting, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. Like, for real. Like, I appreciate anything. I trade you Harrison. Start him. Go ahead. But nah, man. I mean, hey, let's get into the. All right, John. John. When John need me to lose too. So hold on. So, let's get it. We done. Are we done? Are we done? Are we completing the show?
Yeah.
All right, but I was about to say, like, big ups, you know what I'm saying? Big ups to whoever's the top 5 right now. Big ups to my man Trev. Big ups to my man Trev. Big ups to my man Greeny. Big ups to P, who's number 1 right now. You know what I'm saying? My man sitting to my right. So it's not bullshit advice we're giving y'all. Like my man set his lineups accordingly. My man had a good draft. You know what I'm saying? My man John couldn't be here today. Things just didn't go his way this year, but he still got his fighting chance. Like he still got a fighting chance. I still got a fighting chance. A lot of people do. Reezy, shout out to Reez.
Fuck Trev.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck Greeny. He said fuck Greeny, fuck Sean, fuck Trev, all of them. Look, already know. But still, man, I mean, it's been a good year, man. It's been fun. We both appreciate everything, man. Everything.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man.
Everybody tuning in, man. We appreciate it.
Again, big ups to
Sure.
my man John. I couldn't be here.
Like shit, handling
Baby
business,
boy,
man.
handling
Business, bro. Grown man.
Can't wait to
business.
meet him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
me too,
Yeah, congrats, bro.
For sure.
Congrats, dog. So that concludes the show for today, man. Hope to see y'all back next week. Same time, knuckleheads.
My PTI shit with the PTI.
Hey,